Hey guys, this is Chris Aboy with T.A.G Muay Thai. Today is our first day over here at Lee's Taekwondo. This is going to be our temporary location for the next couple months. See you guys then. So first thing I want to do is I want to talk about our Thai boxing stance. Pretty easy right here. You got the 4 boxes. I'm going to be over here in my Thai boxing stance. But the difference is, with this place, what I like about it is that we have the mirrors. So with the mirrors, now you can learn how to self-correct and kind of fix yourself without somebody just yelling at you the whole time. So we're ready to go to our Thai boxing stance. I'm over here. This foot's going to be straight forward. This is going to be at a 45-degree angle. And if you're going to be fighting somebody right in front, you're going to basically have like laser beams through your toes, and then just keep that person in between. So when that person's moving, guess what you're doing also? You're also moving. So as we're doing this, we're going to have a slight bend in our knees. Over here with our stance, you can see that if I go ahead and put both my hands out right over here, my waists are both forward. But if I go ahead and use that rear foot, it's at that 45-degree angle, it actually kicks my rear hand back, and this is where we're going to get the power. The reason that you're going to have power is that I'm going to be able to rotate my hips versus a jab where it's just going to be a short movement. Okay? Now, as we work our way up, you can just see the mirror that what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and make it very concave. I'm going to take that weak shoulder, I'm going to put it right above my heel. So before, when I was teaching over there at Kickers, there was no mirrors for me to kind of self-correct. So over here, if I look in the mirror, I can just start seeing, I can go ahead and make that adjustment. So now you'll see that I'll be very more aggressive, where my weak shoulder is over my hip. Now, with the chin, we're going to make sure that's not going to be chin down, it's going to be actually chin back. The reason that we're not doing a chin down is that in Thai boxing, we go ahead and clinch. So you want to make sure that you just put your chin back where your eyes are straight forward. And with my hands, I'm just going to roll my hands, thumbs over here on the side. And again, it's not going to be where it's what you see on the movies. You're going to have that lead hand. It's going to be right forward. And over here with the rear, you can see it's kind of kicked back. If I want to keep a distance from my opponent, I'm going to go ahead and make that adjustment with my hands where I'll kind of have it out a little bit more. If I want the person to come in, some of the tricks in Thai boxing, what do you think I want to do? If I want to hit somebody with an elbow, I'll go ahead and put my hands a little bit closer in. So you should be able to kind of make that adjustment. It's up to you when you guys are shadow boxing to kind of try those different movements. Now, the one thing I wanted to kind of talk about is using the mirrors. If I'm going to be in my Thai boxing stance, so if you guys get into your Thai boxing stance, you can see the mirrors. There's 3 things that I want you guys to understand when you guys are correcting yourself. When you're using the mirror, where should you be looking? The chest area, okay? So this is where you start to train and visualize looking at that chest, straight forward where it says tag. I'm over here in my stance. That's where you should be looking every single time. No matter if I'm throwing a punch, a kick, knee, whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure that my eyes are at the same level. Now, one thing that I know, I watch myself when I'm shadow boxing, is that I tend to look down because I have no idea. So I've been trying to train myself to actually use the mirror to kind of bring my body up. Because if you see, if I look at the ground when I'm fighting, you can see what's happening with my body. It's very short. And in Thai boxing, you want to be tall because then you can use all ranges of your weapon. So what I want to make sure is that I'm going to be looking straight ahead. If that person's chest, you can see that my body is straight up tall. Other things, when we're moving forward, okay? If you can see me move, look what happens with my head. It goes up and down. What does that tell you? Okay, not so much you're off balance, but you're putting a lot of weight on that leg. So if I'm over here using that mirror and you see that my body is just up and down, that weight goes on that leg. This is when the person should be kicking. So I want to make sure that as I'm using the mirrors, or when I'm training by myself, I'm going to go ahead and try to keep my head at one level. Then if I have something that's attached, a string attached to my head through the ceiling, it should just be a smooth ride. So my weight is distributed properly. And I'm just going to go ahead and make that adjustment with my footwork. Now, other things that I want you guys to understand, that when I'm going to go ahead and go to the left and to the right, as I'm going to the left or right, I want to make sure that I'm not crossing my feet. So I'm paying attention to my eyes, where my eye level is at. I'm paying attention to not crossing my feet when I'm stepping over. I don't want to step over too much because then I'm crossing my feet. This is when you're going to be hitting somebody. So as I'm doing it, I'm looking in the mirror. As I'm going left to right, I'm looking that it's basically going to be the same distance, and I'm working my hands. If I go to the right, I want to make sure that everything is proper. I'm going forward, my head doesn't go bob up and down. It should just be straight forward. As I'm working, when I'm doing any type of movement, I'm kicking, I'm moving, I want to make sure that my level's not changing too much. Now, is it going to be different for MMA? Yeah, obviously, because you got the level change. But for Muay Thai, I want to make sure that our body's up top. So you guys are going to be in your Thai boxing stance. You're going to practice moving forward, moving sideways, and using the mirrors to actually try to fix yourself. And I'll go around and fix you. Any questions? All right, 2002, 1, 2.